On my shoulder, I'll come in by 0.5 inch and I will mark. And from the neck, I'll come down by 2 inches. And with this, I'm going to connect this point with a slight curve. And I'm going to cut. Sorry, I didn't know my camera wasn't recording. So I cut it, of course, the line, I drew the curve line. And here I will be measuring 2 inches. But before I do that, I'm placing it on the paper, on another paper. Then I'm going to secure with tape, which I've done already. So from that edge outward is 2 inches, and placing the rest of the neck and securing it with tape. So from the ½ inch on the shoulder, I will measure 1.5 inches outward and rule a line. In case you don't really understand what I'm doing here, please watch the video on your screen, or at the end of this video I'll be adding an end screen to this video. So and also be dropping the link in the description box. Okay, so this is a raised neck, or you can also call it a built-up neckline. All right, so and you can see what I'm doing right now. So I'm joining with a slight curve. So here I would come in by 1 inch from that ½ inch mark, and from the 2 inches down the mark, I would measure 1 inch. This is my facing. Okay, so I'm tracing out my facing. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm also adding seam allowances of ½ inch all round, and the base is about 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch for overlocking. Of course, you know how we do it. And the center front is also important. We need to add seam allowance to it because we are going to be joining it just the way we are going to be joining the main bodies. Okay, so this is what I have as my facing. And now that I'm done with this, I'm just trimming out the sharp edge there. Okay, so I will be creating my princess dart line, and here I am measuring out my underbust measurement from the shoulder. So I just want to highlight, my underbust line. Very important, because I'm going to be doing a little contouring, around on this line actually. Okay, so I will just pick a point on my armhole curve line, a point. You don't even need to measure, but my advice is just that the lower you come, or the lower you go, on the armhole curve line, the more it will be difficult for you when you are joining. So you apply wisdom to that. Okay, so now joining to my that line, and here I'm measuring 3/8 inch to contour on the underbust line. Now in this for this pattern, I will be using a stretchy fabric. So if you are using a stretchy fabric, feel free to do it this way. But if you are making a well contoured, a bustier, or probably a corset, you need more of a contour. You understand? You need to deepen the contouring so as to be able to have a lovely shape. All right, so So from my waistline, I'm measuring ½ inch on the side and 3 inches on the center front from the waistline down, and I'm connecting. So here, from here, 3 inches. Now this kind of pattern that I'm using is, my waistline is about ½ inch or 3/8 of an inch lower, okay, from the original waistline, I mean on the center front, and on the side is about 1/4 of an inch, and the same thing for the back, except that the center back, you know, I didn't do that on the center back, so I only did that on the side so as to be able to match up well to the front. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So this is like a Basque effect on my pattern. So, and of course I'm going to be doing that or replicating that on the skirt or on the whatever design I decide to do for the down part, okay, so that the two can actually match up properly. Okay, so here I'm connecting my from the other bust, I'm connecting back to the rest of the waistline. So this is what I have, and this is my under bust, this is my waistline. All right, so this is what I have, and I will be separating the panel. The dart on this is going to be removed completely. So this is my panel, my center panel. Then my side panel is here. I'm going to just remove these darts because I don't need it any longer. All right, I'm going to be opening my dart, and for my side dart is about ½ inch away from the nipple point. Usually it's it should be like 1 inch, but because I'm using a stretchy fabric, I just decided, you can do 1 inch, I just decided to use ½ inch. It's my choice, right? All right, so, and you know how we'll do this. All right, so this is what I have for my front, and here I'm going to just remove about 1/8 of an inch by the side just to enhance the fitting. It is not compulsory, this is optional. All right, so this is what I have, and here I have my back pattern, and from the waistline I'm coming down by ½ inch, and on the center back I'm coming down by ½ inch as well. And you can see on the neckline or versus the shoulder of the back, I had also added a brown paper. So I'm going to, you know, establish my princess line on the back as well by connecting my darts to my shoulder darts. And here is what I have. So the back is very simple. So for the raised neckline of the back, please watch the video that I'll be dropping the link in the description box, or the end screen would also, you know, carry the video that you would be able to understand. When you watch that video, you'll be able to understand how I did this. So here I added 3/4 of an inch to the side here, so that when I, you know, join to the center panel, it will rhyme, and of course there won't be any, it will just make up for the lost part of that side. So this is what I have, and the center also has center front has half an inch seam allowance. Here there is no zipper allowance on the back facing. This is very important. Don't add zipper allowance to the back facing. So here I would also be adding interfacing on this. So this is what I have. Can you see? And I've pinned it, and this is my front. Can you see? I just pinned it. So once I'm done, I'll just trim out this, and this is the front pieces. I will join on the center, and here I have my facing. So I will overlock this side, and I will join to the neck of the front, and using my hemming gum while I'm joining, very, very important to stabilize it the more. Okay, here I hemmed the line. I folded the hemline and sewed it, and left about 1 inch away from the seam line, and the same thing I did on the front piece as well. Okay, so for this fabric, I added on the waistline, I added 12 inches to this my front, or my round measurement on the waistline, plus 12 inches. Okay, and the reason why I did that is that I want to fold in as my pleat 6 inches on each side. So from the center front to the dart line on the Basque line now, I have 3.5. So I will be measuring that on the down part of my pleats. Okay, so I'm just, now that I'm done joining, so I'm just trimming out the excesses on the front. So now I'm going to be making my pleat. So this is my center front. So I measuring ½ inch down, which will represent my seam allowance, and from this center front I will measure my 3.5, the 3.5 that I measured on the upper part, which is the dart distance between the center front and the dart line, and I'm measuring 3.5 here as well, 3.5 on both sides. So because I said I added 6 inches, so I'm just going to be measuring 3 inches and 3 inches as well to make 6 inches. And I will do the same thing as well. From this 3.5 inches, I will measure 3 inches and mark, and 3 inches to make 6 inches and mark as well. Okay, so and when you are making your pleat, please make sure on the hemline you add extra allowance so that the pleat can stand well. Okay, so here I'm going to be picking my 3.5 and pushing in the 3 inches and placing the 3.5 on the 6 inches. I hope you understand what I just did here. So it's a box pleat, and that is what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'll do the same on this side as well. Then of course you have to use your pin. So I made a mistake here. I actually forgot to add allowances on the hemline. So please make sure you do yours very well or properly. So from this center front to 3.5, from this 3.5, I would hold it, then push 3 inches in and place it on the 6 inches. And of course, hold with a pin. So you can do as many pleats as you want. This is a box pleat, so you can do whatever, you can add even 8 inches if you have more fabric. All right, so this is what I have, and I'm folding into 2 using my center front as a guide. Okay, because I need to replicate the effect on the upper part on this. Okay, now like I said, my seam allowance is ½ inch, and from the ½ inch I will measure my 3 inches, which is the Basque effect that I did, and from this ½ inch I'll measure I'll measure half an inch as well. So of course what I did on the upper part, I'm replicating here so as to be able to draw my Basque style line, you know. So, and this is what I have done. And of course, before I won't cut on that line, I'm adding seam allowance, a joining allowance to it. So I will just cut half an inch upward from this line, okay? And this half an inch is, I'm going to be using it to, you know, I'm going to be joining it to the back, sorry, to the upper part. You can do this if you have a dressed form. Just place it and, you know. All right, so this is not bad. And of course, I'll use my pin to secure. And this is what I have. So I'm going to be joining this down part to my already sewn upper part. And I have some stones on the chest part, so I'll just, of course, align it properly based on my pleats. So it depends on what you want. You can make your pleats, you know, to be anywhere. All right, so of course what I did here, I also did on the front part. So you measure half inch down and establish your waistline first, okay? So before adding, before, you know, inserting your style line. So this is what I have. Of course, on the back, I did half inch down on the side, half inch down on the center back. So, and this is what I've established. And from the half inch down, I came down by half inch and half inch. I hope you understand. So I'm placing together and also trimming out, considering, you know, my seam allowance as well. Can you see? So this is the outcome, and I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. The neck is standing alone and is well raised, and the chest line, everything is okay. The basque is also neatly joined. So thank you so much, and please ensure you like this video, like and make sure you share, drop your questions if there is any. Thank you so much. Bye.